anguish from Falstaff community members last night as they try to figure out how to stop the shootings in their neighborhood. Last night, police, Toronto Community Housing, city councillors, and community members held a meeting near Jane and Lawrence in North York. The meeting was in response to a rash of gun violence over the weekend. 17 people were wounded by gunfire across the city, and there have been other recent shootings at Lawrence Heights. Charnette Watson works with at-risk youth in Toronto. She grew up just a few blocks away from Falstaff Community Center. She was at that meeting last night, and she joins me live now. Good morning, Charnette.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? How are you feeling after last night's conversation?
Yesterday it was very powerful to see the community come out to join forces with law enforcement and the Toronto Community Housing was really spectacular, I should say. It was something that really needed to be done, and our voices were finally heard, I believe. So that was really good last night.
What makes you believe that?
They kind of understood our concerns that we had in regards to the safety of our communities and what we need in our communities, and what we've been lacking for years and what we've been asking for and pleading for. So yesterday, I do believe that they've seen the emotions on the youth, because there were youth that were present. The youth face, the parents face, and also many others that were present as well.
Mm-hmm. And when you say they understood, who's that?
I would say the law enforcement,
mm-hmm.
the police officers finally, I believe that they finally understood what needs to be done, and they finally understand that in order for you to help the community, you actually have to be involved in the community and get to know the community. So they realize that in order for us to help them, they also have to help us. So I think that message finally got through to them, and they were very, very stern on, they're finally going to put more police officers in, priority neighborhoods. They're also going to make more surveillance for us available and things of that nature.
Yeah, how important is that relationship with the community and feeling understood by the police?
It's very important because, like what I was telling one of my coworkers, at the end of the day, in order for us to help you, you have to help us. We live in those communities. We have to go through the senseless violence every day. We are afraid to leave our houses, and we shouldn't feel like that. We feel if there was more police presence, that, a lot of the violence would happen. We're not saying that it would stop, but we know that a lot of the violence would decrease opposed to increase. And because we feel like, people who are committing these crimes kind of know that law enforcement are not in certain areas at certain times, and certain cameras don't work, they take advantage of certain situations.
Yeah, and you have experienced gun violence, right? I understand you lost your cousin back in 2013, 6 years ago.
Yeah. Yes, I lost my cousin O'Shea and Kwame. They both died the same day on August 23rd, 2013 was the day that my family lost my 16-year-old cousin. He was at Kwame's house, and unfortunately, our family he never returned home, and neither did Kwame. So it's one of those things where it has been affecting my family. It's still affecting my family. We're still grieving, and we haven't received justice at all. And to be honest with you, yesterday at the meeting when they were talking about the cameras not working and things like that, that was one reason why we cannot seek justice right now, because one of the cameras that could have helped in this situation was not working at the present time, even though they had, said that they just put up cameras two weeks prior to the incident. So, hearing from people that, you can put as much cameras as you want, but they actually have to be working. You can put as much law enforcement as you want, but they actually have to care about our communities, finally got through to them.
Do you believe that for 6 years you haven't seen any justice in the case of your cousins, and do you feel like after last night's meeting the tide is turning?
In regards to our justice,
Yeah.
which is O'Shea and Kwame, no, we haven't received justice as of yet. Our families haven't gotten the answers that we need, that we want. Nobody's opening up because, as they stated yesterday, a lot of people said that they're scared to come forward.
Yeah.
And to our families, it's understandable because, the place that we all grew up in, we understand, the severity of all of that. So, every day we plead and we beg and we ask for people to come forward, but we believe that, if the cameras were working, that our family, we would have justice at this time. But right now, I think they finally realized that, to take things way more seriously, it's not just about getting these individuals off the streets. It's about getting the guns off the streets. It's about, locking down on securities and things like that, and taking our neighborhoods seriously, way more seriously than I believe that they have.
Yeah. Charlotte, I want to play you a clip of Toronto Mayor John Tory on Metro Morning yesterday and get your thoughts. Let's take a listen.
It is heartbreaking because this is still a very safe city. We wanted to stay that way. It is angering because, these are people who are wreaking havoc on certain neighborhoods in the city.
What are your thoughts on the mayor and what he thinks about the shootings?
To be quite honest with you, this is not the first incident. This is not the first shooting. Everybody's well aware of all the shootings that have been happening. This is not the first year that this has been happening. Last year we had it was like through the roof of all the violence that were going on. Mm-hmm. And last year we lost 50 youth due to gun violence. So I understand our city is supposed to be a safe city, but it's not, and it doesn't feel like a safe city. And until we come together as a community and bind and say enough is enough, this will never stop. Yeah. Anybody, like what I said, they can say all these great things, but at the end of the day, we're the people that are going through this every single day. And in order for you guys to do something, you have to listen. And you have to take our considerations you have to take our thoughts and considerations really seriously in order for you to help us. Because we do need help, and we want help, and it's not like we don't. Because we want a safer community for our youth and our kids to grow up in.
You work closely with Toronto youth in neighborhoods that are struggling with this kind of violence, right? And at the top of this interview, we heard a clip from last night's meeting of a woman saying that, just because we live in disadvantaged communities, we shouldn't feel like we're the bottom of the barrel. And that really stuck with me, Charnette. Do you think Toronto's youth in these neighborhoods, do they feel like they're at the bottom of the barrel?
Yes, we do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yes, we do. Because we feel like we get the what left. So whatever's left, whatever resources they want to throw at us, they give it to us. And they think by giving us all these programs and things like that, that's beautiful, that's wonderful. But you guys have people in our communities who don't know anything about our communities and trying to come in there and help our youth that don't care, that are there for the paycheck. It's not okay. I've been working with you for over 15 years, and I can tell you that talking to these youth, a lot of them are going through a lot of mental health issues, and a lot of them are going through a lot of pain, and every other day it's like you're losing a friend. So how do you deal with that? There's people that need to come into these neighborhoods to help these kids deal with trauma, because it takes a village to raise a child. So just because you go to the parents and try to console the parents, that's wonderful. But there's other people in the community, such as their friends, the relatives, the other people that need help. So, we just feel like people come in when we're having barbecues, everything's all good. There's nobody there to show the greatness of our community. But when there's all bad, everybody shows up, and we don't like that, because we're not only negative. Our areas are not only negative. There's beautiful, wonderful people that come out of these neighborhoods.
Absolutely, Charnette. I appreciate your honesty this morning. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you for having me.
Charnette Watson, a community youth worker in Toronto and founder of the campaign Dear Black Men. Let's take a look at your commute with Jennifer Allen.
And my role is to have my officers from television in your community as often as possible and ensure that our neighborhood officers are here as often as possible. Our officers are present in the back tonight that are assigned to Falstaff, and they're very familiar with it. In the day-to-day activities, I get reports on what's going on within the community and what's being brought to them to address concerns. We as a unit...
Hi, my name is Charlotte. I've worked in this community for a very long time. I've been here for a lot of the shootings that happened, some at this, some regarding some of the people that I worked with in regards to that. Some were also youth that were in the community. What I've noticed is that the police is great, but you guys only come for like 2 weeks. It's like you guys park up, you guys are here for 2 weeks, and then after that, it looks good, and then you guys are gone. We don't see you guys anymore. So it's like, that's not fair to the community, for the people here, especially for people that work in this building that have to leave late at night. It's not safe. For the women that are coming home late at night, it's not safe. It's not safe for anybody, and it shouldn't feel like that. Nobody in this community should have to worry about their kids coming to this community center and not coming back home. It shouldn't be like that. So if you guys are going to put police present in this neighborhood, you guys need to put it 24/7, not just for 2 weeks to make it look good and then they're gone again. That's what we as taxpayers pay our money for the cops to be present, to protect and serve. We need to feel like we're being protected. So you guys, like, once again, that's what needs to be present in these, not just Falstaff, all the neighborhoods.
My name is Evelyn Fox. I am a co-founder for Communities for Zero Violence. I've had my son Christopher Gunn already taken from gun violence in 2016. At this point in time, what I would like to know, and I'm sure that the community would like to know, as they're grieving right now, Francis, is that 50 years, you were around for the year of the gun. You know that the Roots of Violence report was set out in 2008, so you're very well aware of what it takes to make our community safe. And just recently, you voted down Josh Matlow's proposal for more youth spaces. And as you know, as per the Roots of Youth Violence report, that this is imperative for our youth to go on positive paths.
Right.
So why would you vote that down?
Well, and I voted it down because city staff, Chris Berlinger in particular, suggested that we not vote for it because he's doing an audit and he's reviewing all the agencies that are providing those programs and bring forward the appropriate locations on those sites. Okay, Nick, thank you.
Partners, all levels of governments, to find a solution to this particular crisis. And as the CEO of Toronto Community Housing, you have my commitment to dedicate all of our resources to contribute in any way that we can as part of this shared vision and solution. There are some things that we are doing today and in the very near future to help enhance security. One of the things that we are doing, so it's effective at the beginning of September, and as part of our violence reduction program, we are going to be putting full-time CSU officers on the ground here in the nighttime at Falstaff and in the Falstaff-Jane corridor. So here at 2195 Jane and in Falstaff.
Working, and I don't know if you guys are actually aware that we as residents have access to those videos, to what actually is seen in those cameras are recorded.
So your question is, can you answer? Come on!
So if I could answer the question directly that you asked, right. We have 116 cameras today in this community. Of that 116 cameras, we know at the time of the shooting, there were 2 cameras that were down, not in the immediate area, one due to vandalism and one due to construction. They have been fixed. So that's one issue. The other issue that you raised...
116 in the 3 buildings?
Correct.
116?
116 interior and exterior. And the cameras are linked to a system called Command View. where the cameras can be monitored and footage in cooperation with Toronto Police, we have pulled the footage from those cameras.
We still do not have access to those in terms of actually watching it on our TVs at home.
No, you don't.
So is there a reason for that? Because there were notices saying that Roger was actually working.
Okay, so there are two, so those are the cameras that TCH installs and that we can pull footage on. The other system that you're talking about, I believe, is viewing the lobby camera, in the entrance lobby, the lobby camera. You can only view that lobby camera if you have a Rogers subscription.
Is there a reason for that?
So for us to have every resident able to view the lobby camera, we would have, Toronto Community Housing would have to pay for a Rogers subscription for every tenant. And that, unfortunately, is something that is not within our budget. And I want to speak to one more issue that you raised about where...
Can I just ask the commander a question too, please?
So when you asked why it's only Rogers that offers that particular service. So it's not the other providers. That's the short.
Assuming Rogers needs TCC more than TCC needs Rogers. So I think if TCC put pressure on Rogers so that every single resident has access to that, they would do it.